Hello friends, welcome to the channel BioCafe. Myself Mahesh Mahajan. Today we are going to focus upon the effects of different types of inhibition on the values of Km and Vmax. So we are just going to see whether the Km is going to be increased or decreased or have no change, and in the same way the Vmax is going to be increased or decreased or have no change when a particular type of inhibition is seen, right? So this is what actually is the scenario which is very useful so as to solve the questions which are there in B part as well as C part, right? There are direct questions which are going to be like uh, in which type of inhibition the Vmax is going to be increased or decreased. Such type of questions are there, right? So it is very important to have this concept when you are opting for the biochemistry part in life sciences, that is CSIR net life sciences. And not only for CSIR net it is important for all the competitive examinations which are there for life sciences stream, right? So here we are just going to discuss the types of inhibition and their effect on the values of Km and Vmax. So let us begin. So first of all we will write down the types of inhibition. Okay, so basically there are four types of inhibition. First one is your competitive inhibition, second is your non-competitive inhibition, third is your mixed inhibition, and fourth is your uncompetitive inhibition. So these are the types of inhibition which are there under our focus. Okay. Now what will happen with respect to the Vmax value and what will happen with respect to the Km value, we are going to now look. Okay. So in competitive inhibition, the Vmax is going to have no change, and in rest of the cases it is going to decrease, right? So it is very easy for us now to have the conclusion while we are solving the questions, right? Ki what will happen to Vmax when there is competitive inhibition? So it is going to have no change, and in rest of the scenarios it is going to be decrease, decrease and decrease, right? So it is very easy now to remember, that is only in competitive it is going to have no change, and in rest of the cases it is going to be decreased. Then what will happen to Km values, right? So let me take another color. So Km values again in competitive it is going to be increased, then it is in non-competitive it is going to have no change, then in mixed it is going to be increased, and in last case, that is in non uncompetitive, it is going to be decreased. So this is what actually is the scenario you need to remember when the Km as well as your Vmax values are concerned, right? So very easy now that the Vmax value will have no change during competitive, and rest of the cases it is going to be decreased. And in here in the second case, that is of Km, no change is seen only in non-competitive inhibition, and in rest of the scenario it is going to have the change, and out of that also the uncompetitive one is going to follow the criteria where both the values are going to be decreased. So you can see from the blackboard, that is in uncompetitive Vmax as well as Km is going to be decreased. Okay. So this is what actually is the concept you need to remember or you need to follow before solving any of the questions which is related to this type of inhibitions. So this is the one area where we had focused. upon the value changes, right? The second area is the graphical area that will be discussed in the next video, and the third area is the example area, right? So these are the three main areas where from where you are going to have the questions, right? So I hope the things are now clear. You just have to remember that Vmax value is going to have no change in competitive, and in rest of the cases it is going to be decreased. And for Km values, again you can see in non-competitive it is going to have no change, and in rest of the scenario it is going to have the changes. That is, in competitive it is going to be increased, mixed it is going to be increased, and uncompetitive it is going to be decreased. Okay, so this thing you can have the scenario, or you can remember it. Okay, now very easy mnemonic for Km values, right? So Km values you can just remember uh, this thing, that is in India, right? In India. In India means I refers to increase, N refers to no change, again in refers to increase, and D refers to decreased. With respect to Km I am talking about. So this is the short mnemonic which can be there seen, or which can be there used with respect to Km if you are having struggle with respect to the value changes, right, while learning. So you can use this mnemonic, right? And in the first case of Vmax it is very easy, that only in competitive it is going to have the no change, and in rest of the scenario it is going to be decreased. Done. So this is what is a scenario. So I hope the things are now clear, and you had got the idea that what you have to remember before going to the examination, right? So if you had liked this video, so do hit the like button, and share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel Bio Cafe. Thank you so much.